Welcome back, conspiracy enthusiasts. We find ourselves amidst the golden age of, well, conspiracies. The truth may be a needle in a haystack, but fear not, for we're here to sift through the million lies and get to the juicy, mind-bending facts. Now, before you start digging into the rabbit hole, let's clear some air. Michael Jackson, Elvis, and Tupac are indeed resting, and lizard people are not among us. Well, at least we hope not. Join us on this wild ride as we unravel the craziest, jaw-dropping conspiracies that, against all odds, actually turned out to be legit. Buckle up, it's about to get mind-blowing. Let's delve into a classic, MK Ultra, the CIA's covert mind control operation. In the mid-20th century, LSD, a hallucinogenic compound, gained popularity as a recreational drug. While hippies used it to experience transcendence at music festivals, the CIA, a recurring element in this narrative, sought to weaponize it. The idea of the CIA developing a clandestine mind control program may sound like a topic discussed extensively at a local psychiatric ward. However, during the covert MK Ultra project, this is precisely what happened. The CIA employed deceptive tactics, administering LSD doses to heroin addicts and recruiting unsuspecting individuals at fake brothels. These subjects were then subjected to ultra-shock and hypnotism experiments. Despite the experiment wreaking havoc on the lives of many, no useful results emerged. When the Freedom of Information Act revealed the details of this project in 1977, it provided another reason for the American public, already distrustful due to a turbulent decade, to question their government. But the US government wasn't the sole perpetrator of bizarre, conspiracy-inducing science experiments. In the 1960s, the Canadian government funded the creation of a real-life gaydar. Despite its seemingly light-hearted nature, this had devastating consequences for around 400 people. Frank Robert Wake, a professor at Canada's Carleton University, designed the machine to measure pupil dilation in response to homosexual imagery. The unscientific device was then tested on a large number of government employees, leading to the dismissal of 400 individuals after testing positive for homosexuality, adding a cruel insult to financial injury. The real-life gaydar was internally nicknamed the Fruit Machine, a nod to a common homophobic phrase at the time. Moving away from North America to North Korea, one of the world's most peculiar countries, we find a strained relationship with Japan, leading to a long-running conspiracy theory about the North Korean government disappearing Japanese citizens. As the title suggests, this conspiracy theory actually turned out to be true. In 2002, the former supreme leader Kim Jong-il admitted to the kidnapping of at least 13 Japanese citizens. While 5 were returned, the whereabouts of the other 8 remain unknown. Returning to the United States, we encounter a conspiracy perpetrated against the government, the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln by John Wilkes Booth. Contrary to the notion of Booth as a lone wolf assassin, conspiracies emerged suggesting that he wasn't working alone, a theory that turned out to be true. Wilkes Booth collaborated with at least 9 other Confederate co-conspirators, most of whom were would-be assassins themselves. These included George Astaroth, who attempted and failed to assassinate Vice President Andrew Johnson, Lewis Powell, who attempted and failed to assassinate Secretary of State William Seward, and Mary Surratt, who became the first woman to be hanged by the new United States government. From a defied American leader to a defied Tibetan leader, conspiracy theories have circulated about the Dalai Lama, the spiritual figurehead of Tibet. Given the Dalai Lama's opposition to Chinese expansion, accusations have surfaced that the United States funded him as a form of proxy opposition. Reports from United States intelligence accounts have indeed shown that the CIA provided him with $180,000 yearly stipend since at least the 1960s, as part of a broader project to fund the Tibetan exile movement during the Cold War. Taking a break from government actions to examine shady activities by private companies, It's widely accepted that sugar isn't exactly healthy. In 1967, the Sugar Research Foundation, a lobbying organization funded by companies heavily involved in sugar products, oversaw a study downplaying the links between sugar consumption and cardiac diseases. Corporate sugar conspiracies persist, with the Coca-Cola company paying millions to commission a study obscuring the connection between sugary sodas and obesity in 2015. But all of this pales in comparison to a small group of companies planning a fascist takeover of the United States in 1933, known as the Business Plot. Senator Prescott Bush, grandfather of George Washington Bush, collaborated with business leaders from Chase Bank, Goodyear, Standard Oil, GM, and the DuPont family with the goal of funding a military coup to overthrow FDR and establish a fascist dictatorship. The plan was foiled when Marine Corps Major General Smedley Butler, a vocal FDR supporter, blew the whistle before it could materialize. Despite involvement in a treasonous conspiracy, none of the business plotters faced punishment. Smedley Butler's intervention prevented the fascist takeover, but the irony that the son and grandson of Prescott Bush became presidents of the country he attempted to overthrow feels like a twisted joke. However, a diabolic fascist takeover is not the most horrifying corporate conspiracy. Bayer Pharmaceutical Company and its subsidiary Cutter Biological engaged in a scandalous conspiracy in the 1980s. Cutter Biological sold blood-clotting medicine to hemophiliacs in Latin America and Asia. Manufactured from the blood of non-hemophiliacs, they failed to screen their donors properly, resulting in products that infected 20,000 patients with HIV. This travesty was then covered up for years. What could be worse than infecting 20,000 hemophiliacs with HIV? Now that we've shed light on the murky secrets of the corporate world, let's delve back into the realm of government conspiracies at the remainder of this video. Surprisingly, all the conspiracies we'll explore are directly attributed to the United States government. This includes securing the title of hiring ex-Nazi scientists right after the culmination of World War II. Operation Paperclip was conceived to grant the United States a technological and scientific advantage during the Cold War, even if it meant striking deals with morally dubious figures. To be precise, it was akin to engaging with 1,500 individuals, all granted full clemency with the slates wiped clean and new. Nazi-free backstories crafted by the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency. Among them were infamous Nazi scientists like Werner von Braun, Hubertus Strughold, and Arthur Rudolph. While some truly monstrous individuals escaped accountably for their crimes, the silver lining is that we gained the V2 rocket and successfully landed on the moon. And there you have it, truth seekers. We've journeyed through the maze of conspiracy theories in this golden era, separating fact from fiction. Thanks for joining us on this adventure, and until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and stay tuned for more mind-bending content.